The Morning Watch.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you're overseas and on the move, US listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, the Jamaica Teaching Council Bill, Issues and Answers. In the second watch, Wither Jamaica's coffee industry. Our social media question we ask, what are your thoughts on the JTC bill? Please share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's I quote.
And today's I quote, being happy never goes out of style. And that's by Lily Pulitzer. Being happy never goes out of style. Beautiful.
Good morning, Sarah Ann.
Good morning, Dr. Darlan Toussaint.
First time doing this program with you.
Yes, first time doing this program.
First time doing the program. Okay.
Yes.
Right. So you're going to remain the chirpy one, right?
Yeah, I'll try.
All right. Have a good program, all right?
Thank you so much.
Good. The first watch will be back after this break.
Do you operate a business in the manufacturing or agro-processing industry? Sagicor Bank has a loan just for you. Sagicor Bank Manufacturing and Agro-Processing Loan. Borrow up to $50 million with up to 12 years to repay. Financing you can use to retool, expand, improve efficiencies, or gear up for export. Speak with a business banker today. Sagicor Bank Manufacturing and Agro-Processing Loan. Just another way Sagicor Bank is taking care of business. Conditions apply.
Refreshing your space should be a breeze. And at Active Home Center, we have made it easy by having what you need all in one place. Shop the largest selection of tiles, bathroom fixtures, lighting, doors, and more. Visit us at 84 Constance Spring Road in Kingston, or check out our newly opened location in Freeport, Montego Bay. Come speak with our in-house experts and hit refresh on your space. Active Home Center. More savings, more choices.
Keep fully connected with Flow Fiber Fast Internet at home and on the road with LTE data and calls for a fast, reliable experience anywhere. Over 500 communities have been upgraded since 2020, making more of Jamaica Flow Fiber Fast. And with Yard and Road, get Flow Fiber Faster Yard and LTE Road for as low as $3,999 plus GCT. Visit discoverflow.co to get connected on Jamaica's largest network. Conditions apply.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&B Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. J&B Bank will help you find a way.
welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. So, what do you know about the Jamaica Teaching Bill? What is it really? And how will it affect and impact teaching as we know it today? What are some of the positives, possibilities, concerns, and challenges for the education sector should this bill be enacted into law? Well, to answer these and other related questions, we have online the Senator Lambert Brown, a member of the Joint Select Committee reviewing the JTC bill, and Mr. Leighton Johnson, principal of the Mushet High School and the presidential candidate for the JTA. Good morning to you both.
Hi, good morning, Rev. Good morning, Leighton. Good morning to your listeners.
Good morning
Great.
to you, sir. Good morning, Sir Brown. Good morning, listeners.
Good to have you both. All right, let me begin with you, Senator Brown. I'm beginning at the very beginning. What really is the Jamaica Teaching Council bill and its modus operandi, as you understand it?
All right. Essentially, for a couple of decades now, the talk of making teachers professionals, as you have doctors, nurses, lawyers, engineers, to have a professional council that monitor and promote the upgrade of teachers and therefore the teaching profession. The government of the day has brought a bill to Parliament, and that bill is now before a joint state committee meeting that members of the Senate sit with members of the House of Representatives, selected members, to review the bill, and that process coming somewhere in around January or so of this year, and it's ongoing. Essentially, the bill says it tries to define teachers in class 2, and it says you have to have a degree and some other qualifications to be a teacher. You have to, and that's good. That's an ideal. It comes against the background of many pre-trained teachers being in our system for a long time, and therefore the bill speaks to a transition period away from pre-trained into trained and degree teachers. It also has punishment for somebody pretending to be a teacher or teaching unless you're a licensed professional teacher by the Jamaica Teaching Council. And so it's good intention, and the Jamaica Teachers Association, the Jamaica Teachers Educators appear before the committee, so did UTEC, so did University of the West Indies. They all say, yes, this is a good bill, but there are some weaknesses in it, in that it seeks to penalize teachers. It doesn't say whether or not if a teacher is innocent of charges made against them, that teacher would be compensated. So there are weaknesses in the bill as well, despite its good intention, that the Joint Select Committee, now having closed submissions from the public, is about to sit and go through clause by clause, take into account the comments made by the different organizations. Regrettably, the National Parent Teachers Association, who and schooling and teaching affect every parent, regrettably they didn't make any presentation, and I hope that belatedly they would, and that the committee would entertain it. I hope the committee would entertain it. But so, subject to the clause by clause discussion, we're likely to have a bill. I hope it's a bill that I can support, because there's some areas in it which I'd like to see change.
Okay. All right. Mr. Johnson, what is your understanding? You are a presidential candidate for the leadership of JTA. What is your understanding of the stance or position of the JTA re this bill at present?
Okay, thank you, Rev. However, it must be clearly stated. The disclaimer is that because I am a presidential candidate, there is a presidential tier, and I am not authorized to speak on behalf of the Jamaica Teachers Association.
No, man. Hear my question. Hear my question. Yeah. Mr. Principal, hear my question though.
Right.
What is your understanding? I didn't
Right.
ask for the official side. What is your understanding?
So my understanding of the JTC bill is one similar to the position raised or presented by Senator Brown. It is a bill that is seeking to raise the standard of the teaching profession, a bill that is seeking to put or implement positions that will see the professionalization of the profession, so to speak. It seeks to categorize teachers. It seeks to qualify teachers as someone who has a first degree as the starting point, and it seeks to ensure that at the end of the day there are positions and standards of which the teaching profession should be raised to, and a standard of which we should be governed by. It is the bill, the intent of the bill is one that any well-thinking teacher will agree with. However, the position at this time is that there are issues in it, there are points in it, there are clauses that are problematic that will, in some instances, remove teachers from the profession.
Hello? Not hearing Mr. Johnson. All right, seem to have lost Mr. Johnson. Senator, are you still with us?
I'm still with you, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. We hope to rejoin with Mr. Johnson soon. Until then, Senator, what do you regard as some of the major sticking points in the Joint Select Committee deliberations so far?
Well, the first one is the definition of a teacher.
Yeah.
The current definition, and I noticed that the minister wrote a long article in the Gleaner, but she never dealt with these clauses. The definition of a teacher, I don't have the bill before me now, essentially says you have to have a first degree, you have to have teacher training, and so forth. My daughter, for example, does some teaching as outside of the school system.
Mm-hmm.
She has a master's.
Mm-hmm.
But, and so I think the UTech people also raise, what about specialized persons with skills who don't have a degree in teaching, first degree in teaching? Would you exclude these people? So, for example, if a lawyer should go to teach constitutional law in a school, but without a first degree, and that lawyer collects pay, that lawyer would be in breach of the law as currently drafted. If you take a school, let's say, Portmore Missionary Prep, and it's because it's near to places that you and I are aware of, and they have a pre-trained teacher in their kindergarten system, that teacher would not qualify going forward as a teacher. Right. But currently that person may be described as a teacher under the Education Act. So you're going to exclude about 2,000 plus of those people from the system almost immediately. The system is not geared by the signing of the Governor General's signature to that fix. And so the transition period needs to be longer, so it gives them time to move from pre-train to train, and they're allowed. But some people will argue, but the bill now says those who are called teachers will be deemed, currently, would be deemed on the passage of the bill to be teachers. But that's only for 1 year. And you're not likely to graduate, matriculate and graduate in 1 year to a degree. And so those things can be fixed if both, if the Senate, if the parliamentarians look and take into account what has been said to us by the stakeholders who came and make representation.
Okay,
so
thank you.
We can fix the transition clause. We can fix the definition of a teacher?
Hold that point, please, Senator Brown. We're up on a break. We'll be right back.
This is Love 101 FM, the family station. It is now 7:15.
Something sweet is coming. Something worth the wait. Something that's gonna be great. Something that can only keep one time of the year. I just absolutely, specifically, wonderfully, automatically, Sunshine Alley love summer. Woohoo! Look out! Here we come! I love summer! Go, 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 go.
Don't miss Youth Sounds every Wednesday at 4:32, a program prepared by youth, presented by youth, and brought to you by the Jamaica Baptist Union. Listen as youth discuss topical issues that affect them, given their perspective, guided by the word. That's Youth Sounds every Wednesday at 4:32 on the family station, Love 101. Youth Sounds.
Around, you never let me go. Make it lemonade. Making lemonade.
Next, Making Lemonade. Wednesday at 3 p.m.
What this Christian life no seem for our workout.
You are done.
The sad thing is that I still love you.
You dare come through for me, and I come through for myself.
The fear will come back up again.
Making lemonade. Making lemonade.
Missed out on past episodes? Catch up on YouTube at Fabes Entertainment. That's FABES Entertainment. And like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Making lemonade.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the first watch, we are examining the Jamaica Teaching Council Bill, and we have online Mr. Leighton Johnson, principal of the Mushet High School and the presidential candidate for the leadership of the Jamaica Teachers Association, as well as Senator Lambert Brown, who happens to be a member of the Joint Select Committee reviewing the JTC bill. Before the break, Senator, you're telling us about the concerns about the definition of a teacher. Could you just wrap up that point so they can get a response from Mr. Johnson on that same point? Senator? All right, Mr. Johnson?
2 years, I have two objections to it. Okay. One, it's currently, as it says, is too restrictive. It doesn't take into account the thousands of pre-trained teachers currently in the system, and the transition clause does not allow for that sufficiently to take care of them. Secondly, it doesn't take care of people who are high professionals, highly degreed, some with PhD, who didn't go to a teacher training institution and therefore would be, in a sense, disqualified unless the bill is adjusted to allow to cater for those. So I have that problem. I also have a problem, and let me just say it here, that a teacher currently, if I go drive out 2 days after my birthday and my driver's license expired, I may be fined in the court. If a teacher license expires on the 31st of December, and school reopen come, say, the 7th of January, but the teacher didn't get that license renewed immediately, that teacher could be fined a big sum, up to, I think it's 500,000, just for failing to have a license renewed and so forth. So for those reasons, I believe the bill needs to be carefully calibrated so we don't criminalize teachers for the mere fact that there was some negligence, or in the absence of negligence, the teacher might have been in the hospital and have good reasons. So we should be careful that we rush to criminalize people. And I think that's what the JTA has asked us to avoid. Teachers, educators have asked us to avoid. And there are ways and means in which I believe we can do that and accommodate those requests.
Yes. Mr. Johnson, I think I saw an article in one of the newspapers saying that you were expressing a similar concern. Don't criminalize the teachers. Mr. Johnson with us? Mr. Johnson is still having some difficulties there. All right, it seems as if, Senator, we have to continue. Senator, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, right. Sorry that we're not getting through to Mr. Johnson as consistent.
It's a telephone network in our country.
Yeah. Yes. What other concerns do you have with that? Oh, before I go to that,
let me tell you what happened. When the bill came first, I got the sense, and this is my opinion, that the ministry and the government wanted to rush it through. We've gotten past that now. In fact, in one sitting, they wanted to do 3 presentations. It turned out that we could only have done 1 presentation. So I think a little calmness has come to the government in not trying to rush it. We're now at this critical stage, and I'll say this. I believe the intention is good. I want to repeat it. I believe the intention is good. However, I don't believe that the language in the bill fits the intention. And the purpose of a joint select committee is to review the bill to make sure the intent of the parliament or the intent of the sponsors of the bill is really reflected in the language of the bill. So you don't end up a couple of years from now that teacher find themselves on or herself on the wrong side of the law over something that wasn't intended.
Yeah, but could it be argued that we have to be careful in terms of who we call a teacher, because it's trying to address those concerns over the years. And therefore you have to have some qualifications.
There's no disagreement on that, In other words, if you come and say you have a degree in teaching from Colombo University, and it turns out that it's not true,
right?
You have committed a fraud.
Right.
We agree that such a person must be excluded. But don't tell me that Miss Hector, who taught me at Providence Primary School, so you know how long that was, that she forget to renew her license. Or she wasn't able to renew her license in time. And so she come back from the Christmas holidays and start teaching in January.
So you're arguing for a grace period, Senator?
Not just that is one approach, a grace period, and also to treat the punishment as different. A punishment for Tom, who comes with a bogus degree, as against Miss Hector, who has done her training, have been teaching for 15 years, but just didn't get around to renewing her license.
Okay, I understand that Mr. Johnson is back on. Mr. Johnson, your take on this thing, because you're quoted in the papers talking about do not criminalize the teachers. And Senator seems to also have a similar concern. Any thoughts on that going forward?
The position is real amongst the teachers. The fact is the bill in its current form indicates that a teacher is liable to be fined anywhere up to $500,000 if he or she is practicing without a license. And this, in my estimation, is a position that is untenable for teachers. The fact is that for any reason, a license can expire. A license having been expired requires renewal. During the process of renewal, if a teacher is practicing, he or she, according to the bill, would have committed a breach. And we would like that to be addressed. We'd like that point to be addressed. Additionally, in terms of our current position, many schools right across Jamaica have had to utilize the services of persons who are experts in the field in several subject disciplines who are not teachers. We've had to utilize engineers to assist in the teaching of math and science. We've had to utilize several skilled persons who are available to assist in the technical and vocational area. With this in mind, these persons would commit breaches under the JTC bill because they would have not been registered. They do not have a license as a teacher. So therefore, these individuals would be liable, as well as the administration of the school, as well as the government who would be approving the employment of these individuals. So
except no, Leighton, the employers are free. There's nothing in the bill that punish employers.
Right. There's nothing in the bill that punishes the employers for actually approving the employment of these individuals, which are necessary at this time. You know, right across the board, you ask any school administrator, right across the board, year after year, we have had to employ persons who are not necessarily teacher trained. They never went to college to get the pedagogical competencies, but these are individuals who have displayed the requisite knowledge and skills to teach various subjects. So the bill will exclude those individuals, and it's problematic at this time.
Yeah. Let me add another category. Sorry, Leighton. Take a church who want to help its members' children with homework.
A homework center.
A homework center.
Yes.
If you pay those people who are helping and you give them a stipend, you may run afoul of the law. So we need to make sure that the laws allow for things like homework centers and so forth.
It's going to become a bulky piece of legislation then with all of these clauses and exceptions.
Yeah, but
no, it's not going to be bulky.
I don't think it will be bulky either. Once there are the conventions, the solutions to these, once there is, as you said, a grace period for the extension of your license, then there are fixes to the issues that will arise. But then the issue of penalizing the teachers, I believe that there are other methods, there are other ways of ensuring that a teacher adheres to the law. To give somebody a criminal record who is simply developing our children, because I do not see any individual who enters a classroom having a malicious intent. So the moment you are in the classroom imparting knowledge, you are assisting with the development of a nation. Having said that, I believe that the time is now where the bill should include another way of ensuring that teachers adhere to the bill. We do not have to give teachers criminal records where this is concerned. The moment a teacher is brought before the court, the moment a fine is levied, he or she will have a criminal record. We can say to the teacher, listen, you will not be paid for the period that you are practicing until you get your license renewed or until you have satisfactorily met the requirements of the council's bill. That is a method, and from my perspective, my position, one thing I know, teachers don't mess around with their salaries. So going this route is a solution to this aspect, removing the whole matter of the teachers being liable to become criminals. There is another aspect of the bill too, Rev.
Hold on. Yeah, half a minute, Mr. Johnson.
Right, in terms of the whole process of jurisprudence, the The way in which the bill is, you know the process of law. You go to court, you can appeal, then you go to the Privy Council if you are still not satisfied. The way the bill is constructed now, a teacher can be charged and tried at the JTC level, at the ministry level, at the board level.
Okay, we have to leave it there. Got your point. Got your point, Mr. Johnson. So very sorry. We want to thank Senator Brown and Mr. Johnson for joining us. Have a productive day, gentlemen.
Same to you and your listeners. Cool.
Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
A JN Bank personal unsecured loan can help you tackle your goals with monthly payments as low as $19,999 per million. Conditions apply. The time by JN Bank is...
It is just about 7:31 on the family station of 101.
And Digicel wins again, out in front with another consecutive Ookla Award for the fastest speeds. The champion network crosses the finish line first by providing the best mobile coverage, best mobile network, and fastest home internet Jamaica has seen in 60 years. There's just no beating Digicel.
Join Digicel for Jamaica's best mobile coverage, best mobile network, and fastest home internet you can always rely on. Digicel, made in Jamaica. For more info on Ookla, visit digiceljamaica.com.
Renovators, homeowners, contractors, fixer-uppers, do-it-yourselfers. It's a construction reduction at the Home and Things Pro Savings Sales event. Warning! The prices are dangerously low. Get the lowest prices on tiles, bathroom fixtures and faucets, windows and doors, and so much more, including new arrivals. So shop now for everything you need for your project. It's the Pro Savings Sales event happening now at Home and Things. Don't detour. Come down to Home and Things, Old Loop Road and Concern Spring Road.
The United Apostolic Fast and Prayer Fellowship calls on the women of Jamaica, yes, the women of Jamaica from all walks of life, to send up cries to Almighty God for deliverance from the evil forces at work in our nation. We need divine intervention now. So let us pray, let us cry out in our churches, in the street, at the plazas, in the marketplaces, anywhere and everywhere. Our God will answer and He will deliver us.
Get $100 cash from Alliance for your birthday bash when you collect a MoneyGram money transfer on your birthday this June. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Well, let's look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. In the Observer, fight back. Don't lose your life trying to be professional, JTA tells teachers. And also $15,000 for a life. Can you imagine that? The commissioner says contract killing helping to push up murders. And then gangster gunned down in Westmoreland, Kane Field. In the Gleaner, went to go with full pay. Unverified JFF letter expresses commitment to hefty severance package. Also missing million. Jamaican 5-year-old separated from mom in Mexico, U.S. human smuggling scheme. And also we see Emmanuel ecstatic after Prep Champs victory. School celebrates historic coup in breaking Heidel's hold on the title. Congratulations to Emmanuel Prep School. All right. Those are some of the major stories in our newspapers. Coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our social media question. What are your thoughts on the JTC bill? We just discussed it a while ago in the first watch. And the producer would love to hear some thoughts, especially from members of the JTA. What are your thoughts on the JTC bill? Please leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. Soon come back.
it's not over till.
Listen to words of upliftment in Something More with Bishop Harold Blair, brought to you by the Faith Cathedral Deliverance Center.
And he cried out to God. Have you been there? Have you been there when it seems as if you've been left all alone and no one cares for you? No one gives to you a word of comfort or consolation. But as you lift up your eyes to the hills from whence cometh your help, the Lord heard your cry.
That's Something More with Bishop Harold Blair. Something More comes to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 a.m. here on the family station, Love 101.
It's not over till it's over. And it ain't over yet. Oh, it's not over till.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now join Sarah Ann for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answer today's question. What are your thoughts on the JTC bill? Sarah Ann?
Yes, Dr. Toussaint. So Stacey Ann Wint Antonia on Facebook says, it seems the government aim is to keep us duns to maintain their power. How can we vilify a teacher? Jamaica is heading down a backward path. So that's Stacey Ann. And now on the WhatsApp line, we have Edna from Mobay. She sent a voice note, so let's go ahead and listen to that.
Good morning, Morning Watch. Good morning, listeners. Good morning, Sarah Ann. I'm here listening to the program, and I'm not so much aware of the JTC, but what I'm hearing doesn't sound right to me. There's a lot of flaws that need to be fixed before they can really pass this legislation. It will affect our teachers badly, but I think as a profession, as teacher, it should be really regulated, yes. But there's a lot of flaws right now, so everybody can teach, but it's not everybody is a professional teacher. So let's get it regulated the right way, without flaws. That will benefit the teachers and everybody, okay?
That's it, Sarah?
Yes, that's it. That the last one was from Edna.
Okay, all right. We want to thank those who responded, and we are taking note of your comments. Okay, Sarah Ann, we now will segue into the second watch.
Me coffee, me coffee, me coffee, me coffee, me bowl of boiling coffee in the morning. I cares for none of these. The only thing for me is me bowl of boiling coffee in the morning.
Okay. me coffee, me bowl of boiled coffee in the morning. You know, if you're a Jamaican coffee farmer or coffee consumer who must have a cup of boiling coffee in the morning, there's simply some good news. With welcome the support we are hearing from the Ministry of Agriculture. What are the future plans for the coffee industry? Will that cup of Jamaican coffee be guaranteed in the years to come? Well, to discuss these and other related issues, we have joining us Mr. Norman Grant, President of the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association, and Mr. Lenworth Fulton, President of the Jamaica Agriculture Society. Good morning to you both.
Morning. And morning, Sir Grant. Morning, Sir Fulton. Morning, Doc. How are you this morning?
I am well. And you?
I am great. I had my cup of coffee. I listened to your previous program. Yes. And as a former legislator, I have some strong views.
and
Yes.
hopefully we can talk about it. But I would
All
just
right.
say that whenever you are trying to put regulation of a sector in place, you should ensure that the laws that you are implementing does not criminalize the current practitioners that you are trying to regulate. It must have value.
Okay.
Well said. Well said, sir. Well said.
All right. As you mentioned, value, and we're talking about coffee for this the second segment. Mr. Grant, what is the general importance and the present status of Jamaica's coffee industry? How large and viable is the industry really?
It is turning the corner, and I want to just start off by commending Minister Pernell Charles Jr. When he became minister, I reached out to him. I've always had a great relationship with his father and I, from way back. And I asked him to meet with myself and other members of the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association because we wanted to share a vision with the minister. We have tried with the 3 previous ministers and they listened to us, but there was no real effort to understand what was required. So as president of the JCEA, I engaged JACPRA, and we set up what we call a coffee working group that consists of members of the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association, JACPRA, JAMPRO, and a representative from the Jamaica Coffee Growers. And what we set to do was to look at a situation analysis of the coffee industry and to move into a SWOT analysis, and then said, let us come up with a working document that we can hand it to the minister, that he can provide policy support to both the growers, the processors, and the regulators. So let me just share what the outcome of that was. We completed a document which we presented to the minister, some of which he spoke to at his budget presentation, that says that the industry is now producing 230,000 boxes of coffee. If we invest $1 billion over 5 years, which is an injection of $200 million per year, that is specifically dedicated to the growers. And by this I mean the provision of fertilizer, chemical, training, research and development. What you will see over 5 years is a move where the coffee production will grow from its current 230,000 boxes to 450,000 boxes.
Tell you what, Mr. Grant. Mr. Grant, sorry, could you just hold that point right there because we're up on a break soon and we want to hear Mr. Fulton coming. So we'll come back to that. Mr. Fulton, we're coming back to that. Mr. Fulton, the JAS, what the role and function of JAS in light of the coffee industry? Any concerns?
We have a lot of concern, and to say that there are 2 organizations, one that Mr. Grant leads, which is the Coffee Exporters, and one that Mr. Donald Salmon leads, which is the Coffee Producers Association, Coffee Growers Association, and he is a part of the JS board. My concern, and you raise a concern, I support Mr. Grant's points 100%, support them 100%, but I would like to know if 100 years from now we'll have Blue Mountain Coffee, as you asked. Is there a legislation in place, or one to be put in place, to ensure that the coffee growing areas remain Blue Mountain coffee growing areas? I know there's a geographic boundary, but is this geographic boundary described by any law? Number one. Number 2, I think government, apart from what Norman said, government need to do something in terms of access road. It's difficult terrain. And I think there's enough rivers and streams in that hill up there, in that whole beautiful area up there. That
Tell you what.
is to give coffee growers water.
Tell you what, Mr. Fulton, hold that point. We are up on a break. We'll be right back.
50 and over, get the best health plan as well as fabulous discounts. Visit ccrponline.org today or call 469-1944 and live life to the fullest. The time by CCRP is...
It is now 7:45 and a half.
Tell me where you get the money transfer.
Alliance.
Where you get the money transfer.
Alliance.
Where you get the money transfer. Money move like a bird, like a plane, it's a blur. Money quick, money fast, money reach in a flash. It's your agent no run out of cash. Pay the rent, pay the bills or buy the grocery. Make a call for the cash and pay the school fee.
Money when and where you need it. Alliance MoneyGram Money Transfer. Convenient locations island-wide. A member of the Sagicor Group.
Tell me where you get the money transfer.
Alliance.
Send me your phone again there. Mine are more shaky. Brigade, it's about time. What? You switch to Flow for the blue side vibes with big smartphone deals. Like the Alcatel A1 for just $4,645 GCT included, which comes with 14 days of unlimited talk, YouTube, Spotify, and social, plus 4 GB TikTok data. Or ZTE A31 for just $6,500 GCT included. Comes with a 7-day unlimited plan. Link a Flow store now for switch and keep your number. Offer available while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Do you wake up in the mornings wondering why you're here? Are you facing cycles of being up today and down tomorrow? Well, you're in luck. King MD is in town. Let us help you exercise dominion over your circumstances. Coming to you from the South CGMA Kingdom Church, it's the Kingdom Mantles for Deliverance Train Net Encounter, with special guests all the way from the Miracle Arena for All Nations in Canada, Minister Madiri Dichaba, son of Prophet Kofi Danso, under the theme, Stewarding the Kingdom, Mantling Power for Deliverance. Register for training at the Hotel Coming from June the 15th to the 17th, starting at 10 a.m. And it just doesn't end there. Nights of Encounter, June the 16th to the 17th at the Sean Lavery Faith Hall, starting at 7 p.m. Sunday, all-day encounter, the 19th of June. So register now at www.cgmasouthkingdomchurch.org or call us at 774-1425. Jamaica, King MD is in town. You can't afford to miss this. You better be there.
The first sound they make is to simply let the world know they're here. And then it's our duty to help them show the world why they're here in the first place.
Give them every advantage with the Guardian Achiever, a plan that provides for their educational dreams and protects their health and life in the process. For more information, call 888-4LIFE to speak to an advisor or visit myguardiangroup.com.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the second half of the second watch, we continue to talk about coffee, a cup of boiling coffee in the morning, and we have online to discuss these important matters. We have Mr. Norman Grant, President of the Jamaica Coffee Exporters Association, and Mr. Lenworth Fulton, President of the JAS. Yes, Mr. Fulton, you were telling us about geographic concerns there before the break. Mr. Fulton, still with us?
Yeah, I was saying that I would like to know that the generation to come would have the prescribed area to grow coffee. Just like how you have the Cockpit Mountain, and they say you can't go up there to do anything. Well, you should have this prescribed area preserved for coffee. But I don't know if there's a legislation. And I spoke about access road and water from all these springs to be made available. The point that Norman made is very important. We have seen up to 500,000 boxes of coffee and was able to process that and sell it. So therefore the capacity is there now to more than double the production we are getting of the 230 to 240 boxes, 1,000 boxes per year. And the assistance that Norman speak about could come not as only a gift or a grant, but this could be given as crop lien to farmers since coffee is sold to a few entities. Norman is one of the major purchaser, and indeed he is one of the most renowned person in coffee, and you can rank him with any in the world.
Yeah,
So
man,
you
international. He's an international taster. Mr. Grant.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we begin you up. But Mr. Fulton mentioned about the boundaries and all of that prescribed by law. Any take on that? Information you can give us?
Just allow me to finish my first point because I wasn't.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So the program is aimed to move our production from 240,000 boxes to 450. We have also included an increase in productivity, whereby presently our coffee farmers are producing 30 boxes per acre. We want to move it incrementally to 60, then to 75, then to 90. What the minister have said to us, listen, Norman and the team, I don't want you to drive it to 450. I want you to get to 1 million boxes. And we say, well, we are willing to do that. But here are some of the important things that are happening, Doc and Lenworth. The price of coffee to our farmers have increased from somewhere in the region of $5,000 to now in the region of $8,500 to $9,000 a box. The farmers are re-energized to go in and resuscitate their fields. Currently, the current crop, you're going to see at least a 5.5% to a 7% increase in our production and also our productivity. In the plan that we have placed on the board of the minister, the table of the minister, includes the upgrading and the maintenance of farm roads in the coffee growing area, the dealing of irrigation and drip irrigation throughout coffee, the area of research and development to deal with leaf miners and dealing with berry borers, building capacity as it relates to training and the inclusion of youth and women in the sector. And we have gotten also support through JAMPRO, where in another 6 weeks, funded by JSIF, we are completing a intrinsic and expansive research on Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee globally and where the opportunities are. We have also gotten funding out of Europe to look on new opportunities as it relates to market entry into Europe. So a number of things are happening, which is speaking to the development and the diversification of our markets.
They can reach the 1 million, Mr. Grant? Target.
Well, I believe that our first yardstick is to get to 450 or 500,000 boxes. And then over the next 10 years, we can then incrementally grow the production up to 1 million boxes, which was the mantra and the objective when SITCA was set up in the 80s. And then what that will now do, it would help in also import substitution, because right now you have to import coffee to do blends. But when you now expand Blue Mountain and expand the areas outside of the Blue Mountain, then you can reduce the amount of coffee that you import, and then you will be able to provide adequate support, employment for the farmers. As it relates to the question that Lenworth raised, so the area that Blue Mountain coffee is grown is legislated under the JACRA Act. It was officially under the Coffee Industry Board Act. It is still the only sector, listen to this, Lenworth and Doc, that is exempted from the fair trade regulation. The coffee is industry, right? Because the government remains, since 1948, the single regulator for Jamaican coffee. So, say, for example, you can go to Mexico, Colombia, Costa Rica, and every man that grows a little pound of coffee can export it. In Jamaica, this is not so. You have to export it through a regulator that owns the brand, that protects the brand, and protects the quality. And these are some of the hidden strategy why we still have an industry. And to answer Lenward, will we have an industry in 100 or 200 years? The answer is yes. Ever since coffee was introduced in Jamaica by Sir Nicholas Lord in 1724, Jamaican coffee has changed the conversation of specialty coffee across the globe. And all we need to do is to support the farmers. So the final point I want to say to address one thing that Lenward said is that the program that we have placed before the minister is what we have asked the minister to include the coffee industry in the productive incentive program. All the other crops are included, right? And all we're saying is that coffee has the potential to generate $100 million worth of foreign exchange earnings per annum. If you give it the support, it can transform the Jamaican economy. So all we're saying, okay, we're giving support to yam, domestic farmers, other crops. We're just saying include coffee in there and make the conversation about the economic landscape of agriculture one that includes traditional crops, one that includes domestic crops, and one that will also include the development and the improvement of the infrastructure that will.
Okay, all right. Mr. Fulton, I think you would have the last word. Your final thought.
Well, I think that program that Norman outlined is an excellent program. And I congratulate him and his team for doing it. Because what we need now is for the support to go to the farmer. And as I was saying, it's a perfect crop to do crop lean, to lend the farmers money, and you make an arrangement with the purchasers and the factories like Norman to take out back the money you give them, and so that it can go to somebody else. So that is what it is needed, because we can't build an industry and government grant, because government doesn't have that kind of money to give out in grant. The farm roads and the irrigation water has to be done by government. No other entity can do that. So I think it's a very good program, and I can guarantee you, Norman, that I will do everything from the JSN to promote and push that program.
All right, thank you, Lenward.
So there's hope. There's hope for this industry then going forward. That's what I'm picking up from you, gentlemen. But you are saying we need to do it incrementally, and we need to be mindful of the challenges that we face, right?
There's great future in it. A great future.
Just one little thought before we close. What about the I don't want to use the phrase "common man," but the little man there in terms of coffee. You get the impression the coffee industry are for the big players and stakeholders. Can a little man do him thing and come in, Mr. Grant?
No, but the coffee industry is for all. Once you are a coffee farmer, I want to tell you that the little man sometimes have a high level of productivity than the big farmers, because sometimes a man that grows a 1 acre of coffee is getting somewhere in the region of 80 boxes per acre, while the large farmers are getting 50.
Yeah, time is up on us. Yeah. So little man can come in and must contact you, right? And,
yes, man. And
all right.
the program as well, just quickly. In the program as well, we're setting up seedlings, because we are planning to distribute some 3 million seedlings to coffee farmers over the next 2 years.
That sounds great. Interesting discussion, informative as well. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a productive day. Enjoy
All right.
the rest of your coffee. all
Thank
right?
you too.
Okay. Thank you, listeners.
Okay.
Join us again tomorrow as we continue to set the stage for a discussion of topical and controversial issues. For information or get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-9596-7. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer and our guests. I'm Dylan Toussaint, giving a shout out to the pastor and members of the Portmore Gospel Assembly Church as I hand you back to Love in the Morning with Sarah Ann Edwards, the chirpy one.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Toussaint.
Okay.
NHF beneficiaries enrolled for diabetes can apply online for a glucometer to help manage diabetes. Visit www.nhf.com.